Now, more useful will be the semantic features, okay, because we are looking at the meaning of the question, so we need semantic features. Okay, so for example, here are some examples of semantic features. The named entities, okay, which is the noun phrase that could categorize into different semantic categories, okay, or varying specificities. Okay, say for example, Vietnam War will be classified as an event. Okay, the first will be a numerical things and so on. Okay, or we look at the WordNet census. Okay, so the WordNet is a word database. Okay, that are very quite famous. Okay, that we can group the words into different senses. Okay, each word may have multiple senses. So the senses will tell us the meaning of the sentences, the words, and words with similar senses, they usually have similar meanings, and one can be replaced by another. Okay, so words are organized into senses in WordNet, okay, and which are organized in hierarchies. Okay, so a hierarchies of the knowledge of the world. Okay, so the world knowledge. Okay, so sometimes we call it ontology. Okay, which is quite common in machine learning. Okay. So all senses of word are used as features. Okay, so say for example, if a word appearing in a sentence have multiple senses, okay, we use all these senses as features. Okay, so whether they are useful is not important at this moment, because the learning process itself will find out what is useful, what is not useful, okay, for this classification process. And we use the Wu and Palmer metric to measure the similarity between words. Okay, the Wu and Palmer metric is a metric between different words in the WordNet dictionary. Okay, so by using this metric, we can say compare whether two words are similar to each other. Okay, so that we can say group different words into different categories. And class-specific related word, okay, there are, say for example, alcohol, lunch, and orange are related to food classes, so that say these words, okay, will have special relation to some of the classes, okay, and this information will be useful for doing classification as well. And finally, distribution similarity, okay, which is say by looking at how the words are distributed in the sentence. So if the words are say their appearance in the sentence are similar to each other, okay, say the use of the word in the sentence are similar to each other, that is the distribution are similar, then we can say that they are similar to each other, or they are in meaning, okay, or in their usage. So words occurring in similar syntactic structure, they are similar to each other, and they can be grouped into semantic category accordingly. So by using these features, then we can do classification. Okay, so the detail of the classifier will be skipped in this talk. Okay, so for example, the Lee and Roth, okay, so the designer of this database, okay, they use a two-level classifier. So they first do a coarse classification and then do a fine classification for defined classes. And we, my student Zhang and me, okay, have used convolution tree kernels, okay, to do the classification, okay, with local alignment. So the tree kernel here will be semantic enriched. Okay, that is, we add semantic information to the tree kernel so that we can use semantic information, okay, to do classification by measuring the semantic similarity between two parse trees. Okay, so the tree is basically a parse tree, so we do a parsing. Okay, after parsing, we try to compare whether the two trees are similar to each other. So based on the WordNet and the Wu and Palmer metric and distribution similarity. Okay, by using these semantic means, okay, we try to look at whether the sentences or the syntactic trees, they are similar to each other. And then we use the support vector machines to do classification. So we achieve 92.5% accuracy, okay, which is say on par with other researchers in this field. The other topic I want to introduce is sentiment analysis, or more recently they're called opinion mining. Okay. So it involves following problems. Okay. So here are some examples of the researches in sentiment analysis. Say for example, sentiment polarity or the degree of positivity. So we try to look at say, the opinion or reflected by the article or the sentence, whether it reflects a positive or a negative opinion towards something. Okay, maybe a product, if it is a review articles, or maybe towards, say, for example, government, if it is a political articles. Or not only binary classification, but it can be a continuum between two extremes. Okay, so the degree of positivities. Okay, so we can also do this classification. Say, for example, in the context of review or political speeches. Okay, so that, say, we can, by mining of these articles in a website, for example, we can know the orientation of a particular website, so whether it is conservative or liberal, for example. So, or determine whether a piece of objective information is good or bad. Okay, say, and rating inference. Okay, say, for example, to do rating inference. So give a rating. Okay, say whether it is very good, quite good, and so on. Okay. Or pro and con. Okay, give also look at the pro and con instead of positive or negative. That will be more difficult than just give you a positive or negative opinion. The other issues that are studied in this topic will be the subjectivity detection or the opinion identification. So by looking at the article, we can tell, or we want to tell, okay, whether, say, the sentence gives you an objective opinion, or whether it is the subjective opinion of the author. Okay, so that will be useful. Say, for example, if it is a piece of factual information, whether this is a piece of factual information, or whether this is the personal opinion of the author. So that will be quite different. Okay, in, say, for example, in the learning process, if you look at the article of the knowledge forum, okay, you may want to know whether this is just a piece of factual information, or whether it is the personal opinion of the student. Okay, so that will indicate some of the learning process undertaken by the students. Okay, so for example, the subjectivity detection will be whether an article contains subjective or objective information, or determining the opinion strength. Okay, the strength will be different from the positive or negative itself, because, say, whether the author strongly believes something. It can be strongly believed in, or it can be a strongly neutral position. Okay, it need not be in one of the two extremes, but how strong the author will believe in something. Okay. So, for example, we can use adjective in a sentence to do this kind of classification.